Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I'm Pastor Joe Fox, and I've talked to you before about this awesome kit I got from CampingSurvival.com. It's the World Gone Silent radio kit, and tonight we're going to do some training on it. We're going to start getting ready to use it, and I thought you'd like to see what we're doing. So stick around, and yeah, let's see where this goes. All right, we're back, and obviously we've been getting this kit out and playing with it, and Roger has been trying to school me, the bonehead that I am on this. And so please correct me if I'm wrong. If I say something that I'm wrong on, let me know. But this right here is our antenna, and this is how we get it up into a tree or a high place, and then we can hang this bad boy, which we haven't unpacked this yet, the length of this cable to the radio, which is called a transceiver because it transmits and receives. Of course, we have these four 5-watt bow fangs right here, and this system is compatible with other bow fang radios also. Other radios.
Other radios, period.
Right.
So long as it can pick up and receive the frequencies that the radio is able to receive, it'll work.
Okay, then this is a portable power pack that we can power this transceiver with.
Correct.
And it comes with multiple charging options. It has this, which will plug into a wall or my solar system or whatever. And it has Anderson connectors, which is very important for hams that can connect into this radio. Or I can just use these little guys right here with Anderson connectors and plug it right into another car battery or something like that. And then how does this plug into our transceiver?
Okay, that's what I haven't seen yet. It might be still in the bag.
Is that this?
Yes, that is it. Okay, so one in here, the white plug is going to plug into here on the radio.
Okay, there we go. And it's long, so we could remote this battery.
And then, yes, and then you've got your Anderson connector. So you've got
Anderson connectors.
the distance of this wire that you can separate the battery from the radio.
Okay, and then what I understand is that these transmit on 5 watts,
5
the
watts
handhelds,
maximum.
and they will go 2 meter or 440.
Correct.
Now to transmit on 2 meter, you need a ham license,
Actually,
legally.
you need a ham license to transmit on the ham radio frequency band for 2 meter or 440. Plus, there's also a bunch of other band frequencies, but we need a ham radio license to utilize these.
Unless it's an emergency.
Right. Or if you're using them.
Under the direct supervision of another ham, which you are a ham. All right, so legally, I could transmit right here.
While we're here doing
if you're
this.
here with me, and we're good. Or if it were some kind of emergency, I could get on and transmit. And then there's the other things which we don't talk about. Okay, so that's that. Now, you told me this transmits on 5 watts. And so that goes a certain distance.
Right.
And it comes to this transceiver at 5 watts, and then this can punch it out at 50 watts.
On 2 meter.
On 2 meter, if we're transmitting on those freaks.
Right.
Or could I go at 440, which is GMRS frequencies?
Okay. We won't be able to utilize it on GMRS, okay, because of the licensing.
But could it physically go on GMRS?
The radios will go on GMRS.
Could I physically, forget legality here, just is it in the realm of possibility I could put this on 440 GMRS, come into this transceiver, and then it blasted out on 2 meter to another radio?
I'm going to tell you, I believe so, but I haven't looked at the radio
Right.
instructions to see what the frequency range is.
So 50 watts will push a signal about how far?
You're probably looking at 25, 30 miles without issue if your antenna is a good height.
Okay.
Now, this also on 440 transmits, I believe, up to 35 watts. So
Which is pretty far.
it's a strength.
Okay.
The transmission power of the radio. So 2 meters is 50 watts, 440 is 35 watts.
So with this system, as you think it goes right now, how far do you think we could transmit, furthest we could transmit with it? With just this system, one radio to one radio, utilizing the repeater here.
Okay.
Utilizing this as a repeater.
I have talked radio to radio or mobile to one of these radios at almost 10 miles.
Okay. But when we
but your conditions have to be right. The radio here, it's going to be a question of, can it hear the handheld?
So if I could talk 10 miles to this and that can then blast to this, how far could it blast?
From point to point, you're probably looking 20 miles between them, provided this radio can hear this one.
Oh, because this has to talk back. Mm-hmm. Or if it's just in listening mode, all it has to do is receive. It could go further away.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
And as your signal, your distance increase, your signal strength gets lower.
Degrades, right.
You're more likely to be hearing static or breakup in the transmission.
Which is why the need for clear codes and just clarity
antenna.
goes. Right. So then something else you were telling me is this transceiver right here, it comes with a bracket so you can actually mount it in a vehicle or under a desk or whatever. But also we can take off, is it called the head?
Yes.
We could put the radio somewhere limited by this cable.
Both of these looks like they're utilized.
And then we could put the head like on the dashboard with this bracket, so we just have a little radio right here that our microphone's hooked into, a little thing. The main radio we could put wherever.
Correct.
That is cool. We have 4 base chargers for the handhelds.
2 per box.
All right, so knowing what we want to do, we're going to have to program this, right? We got a programming cable?
Yeah, I've got to look and see, this cable will not work on this radio.
Okay.
This cable works with those. I've got to go through the instructions to figure out which one of these two goes to a computer so that we can program this.
Because we already have our own channels programmed, ready to go.
In
We're
our
going to put
handheld.
them into all of this. How do you see us using this to make commo with all the people we need to make commo with?
This will help us in weak signal conditions.
Because right now I can't reach you or Fletch very good.
Right. What I was going to say is your best transmission is clear line of sight, point to point. That's the absolute best.
Right.
Flat ground, nothing in between.
Right.
We are surrounded by a mountain and a bunch of trees.
But right now we're close to the top. So if we run the antenna from the longhouse up and kept this in here on a battery.
Which we should be able to each talk to each other without a problem.
Okay. And then we just need to have the battery fired up to do it.
And be able
we
to keep
can-
it charged and recharge it.
We could hook this onto one of our solar panels, like the same ones that are powering these lights.
Correct.
And just keep it. Matter of fact, we probably have enough wire. We could almost do that.
Well, we could probably get another set of connectors. Well, right here you go. And hook that up
Right to our battery.
directly to a standard 12-volt vehicle battery type of a thing.
And then run that off a trickle charger solar panel.
Correct. Well, you don't even need that. Your trickle charger, yeah. Well, your solar converts it through the controller. That goes to the battery at 12 volts. Your battery charger. So this is going to go direct to the battery, then to the radio.
Okay. And then we just had a big tornado scare. And we were all talking to each other on the radio, and some people had to relay to get the message around, but with this, we should all be able to talk.
Right.
And then just night before last,
Night
we had
before
the
last.
fire. And so we had a big fire, and we could smell lots of smoke, and so we all got on our radios and started talking to each other, and you went mobile,
I went mobile.
and Rick went mobile, different ways. And we found out it was far away in another state, but it was a lot of smoke. And so this will allow us to communicate over a wide range, and honestly, we have radios. So now we have loaner radios, right, to hand out,
Backups, loaners.
or backups if somebody's breaks or something like that. What else do I need to tell the people right now before you and I talk some specifics?
The standard package for this, if you're not going to use these on FRS frequencies, which there's always questions and everybody's going to have their own opinions on how to use them. The radios are capable, let's put it that way, the radios are capable of FRS and GMRS frequencies.
And 2 meter.
As well as the ham radio, 2 meter 440 band. If you're going to use them as standard ham radios, you're going to have to get licensed to use them to be legal.
To be legal, yep.
And you can do that simply with a technician class license. It's your first test, the easiest one to take. And it's simple. You get a book, or you can go online and do practice tests. And
That's what I did.
when you say, okay, I can pass the practice test, 90% complete every time, go take your test and get your paperwork, and you're done.
And one more thing before we sign off, I asked Roger when we were off camera. I said, "What's your honest opinion of this transceiver?" What did you tell me?
I want to get one of my own.
Yep, he said it's really good. I wish I had one that good. So that made me really happy with this. So let me just finish up with this so I don't have to splice in another video. This is going to increase the capabilities of our group to communicate in a crisis or an emergency a lot. We're going to be able to transmit to some of our brethren who live about 20 miles away to stay in touch with them if something happens. It gives us the ability, because we already have radios, to hand out. We have up to 4 radios. We can hand them to mobile units going out scouting. We can give them to the guard or the patrol that's going out, or we have backups if radios break. This is the kind of thing that would be very useful in any kind of retreat situation that you're setting up. And even if you're not a radio guy, because I'm not a radio guy, and you're not blessed like I am to have a radio guy, you could still have this kit, start reading the books. It comes with lots of instruction manuals in it. And you could set up your own network when the time comes, or maybe you have a Roger that wanders into your camp, and you're like, "Roger, you are in charge of commo. Can you handle it?" Anything else for the people?
As with most amateur radios, your biggest difference as far as how well you're heard is your cable connection, your antenna. Your height of the antenna will allow you to transmit farther and hopefully receive from farther away. We got no problems. I've got a base radio at my house, and I've got no problems talking on a repeater 50 miles away. So height makes a difference on any radio transmissions. But the advantage of this pack is it's entirely portable. We can pack everything up here in this knapsack and take it and move it from point to point wherever we needed to set up on any kind of a temporary basis.
Right, we could all get in a vehicle, take off, run this thing from the vehicle, and launch out from there remote. Man, the things we're going to get to do with this radio pack as we get learning. So I just wanted to bring you along a little bit on the journey. You can get this. It's World Gone Silent. It's the big radio pack from campingsurvival.com. I'll put a link to them down below. And they sell good gear. I'm happy with them, and you should check them out. All right, I'll see you out there. Turn off.